So with the latest major orders being around dissidents and fighting against them, here's what I think a rebel faction in Helldivers should be like.
Fighting for my life!
So, your initiates are just your basic civilians who join the rebellion or the dissident army. And they got basic stuff like Constitution rifles, the default gun you get in the beginning, and I want to say pyrotechnic grenades, because those are just modified fireworks. And their main, melee weapon is just the trench shovel. And some of them might be carrying the break action shotguns. You see those scattered around. So, one of the unique things about the Dissident faction is each type of enemy, like the Chaff, the second in command, the third, they all have a certain chance of just throwing down their weapons, or surrendering, or just running off. So you won't be punished for shooting someone trying to run or someone trying to surrender, but you won't be rewarded for shooting them either. So it's up to you. And since they're just civilians, their chance of just throwing down their rifle and running off is like a 40-something%. You'll usually see them guarding minor points of interest, or supplementing the types of enemies ahead, as in just helping them boost their numbers. They are basically just the chaff. That's why they're only having things they could bring from home.
Put the dot on your target, then you blow the shit out the motherfucker.
The outsiders are usually the enforcers, or just tougher units. They're usually from places like the inner cities or real outstressed rural areas. Places Super Earth forgot, and they feel disenfranchised. So they're a lot less likely to surrender or run off, but they might try a false surrender too. They'll usually be armed with amendments or the Deadeye lever actions, and they often have the Redeemer sidearm, the Uzi-like weapon. And I feel like they would have a hatchet just because that's something you get from a regular hardware store. Their grenades would probably be the G6 frag, just because I feel like the rebels would actually want them to have a little bit more of a kick to it, or maybe the baseline one they give everyone in training.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna...
Yeah, these used to be like cops or settlement guards, or just people who worked in law enforcement, or maybe the people who also helped wrangle the bugs. Super will probably show them as cops who were good or went bad, or just dirty cops from the very beginning. These enemies will be a little bit harder to kill because they don't have a lot of medium pen on them, especially in the chest and legs. So you're going to aim for the stomach area or straight for the head. They'll be using a lot of the force of law, war bond stuff, like the pacifier and the de-escalator. They'll also be using warrants as sidearms, and the ones that have melee will have the stun baton, and they'll actually be the first group of enemies to use, or some of them will use a stratagem, the de-escalator. These won't be all of them, but these will be only certain ones, and they'll use the urchin for a grenade.
Maintain formation!
So, the rebel armed forces are the Seaf members who have betrayed Super Earth. These people will not surrender unless all hope has been lost. Their weapons are usually rolled out: Liberator, G6 frag grenades. I think they would carry verdicts around as a sidearm. The only ones without a melee equivalent. And I believe with a safe update, this next part could really work. So I believe a good update for the sea forces would be a diversification of squad roles. So you might have one with an MG or a stalwart if it's like a light machine gun crew, and a grenadier in each one. And you also still have the people with EATs, and their radio could call in Siege artillery. Although it would be very hard to implement that without killing the players by accident. Although the Rebel Armed Forces are trying to do it on purpose. And I think the Rebel Armed Forces can be a really good thing to help introduce tanks and APCs as like their replacement for like the automaton tanks and the chargers. So another update that requires to add a tank, but still. So the last group of enemies in this faction will probably be the hardest to fight and both the hardest to implement, just because of how random fighting these guys can be. So these guys are what happens when all the helldivers and their eagle betray Super Earth. They have all of our weapons, all of our armor, and almost all of our stratagems. Because everyone on that crew, except for Pelican 1, betrayed Super Earth. So fighting these guys will never be the same twice in a row. Because you could face a Helldiver with an Adjudicator and a grenade launcher, but a few minutes later, you could face one with an Eruptor and a one true flag, or one in a mech. It's never really the same. And also, to replace our regular Eagles, they'll have their own. These will have, for the sake of simplicity, they'll always have them 5 strafing runs, 5 cluster strikes, 4 airstrikes, and 2 500 kilogram bombs. And once it uses them, it's about double of our regular, no upgrades, Eagles cooldown time. Because it has to go to an airfield and then rearm, refuel, and then go back out. And it's a fast strike aircraft, but it's still going to take time for it to do all of that. So my last idea for them is 2 unique missions, one replacing the spread democracy and the other destroy supply bases. So in the mega cities, Raise the Flag will be replaced by taking a supply depot or stronghold from the rebels and giving it over to Sieve. This will undermine their ability to hold the city and keep supply lines running. Now, in urban areas or colonies, this will be switched to destroy, like the same as destroy Tom supply depots and the big fuel things they have. You'll calm down the Hell Bomb and destroy it. So the main side objective will be the same as in other bases. So you're gonna average military base, uh, prompt 2 walls, and tents. When you destroy these tents, you've cleared the base, and then you can move on to the next one. Now, since I'm not really sure how they would call in reinforcements, the difficulty will be ramped up by the chaff having stronger numbers, and the higher you get up, the harder they are to fight and kill. And also, they're going to redo how the artillery in SAMs work. So when they have, so they'll hold a artillery spot and they'll constantly reload it until you retake it from them. So until then, they have artillery, but once you retake it, there's no way for them to retake it. So you don't have to sit there and hold it. But after you've taken it, you can use it against them. Now the SAMs, once you land down if a SAM's active, you can't use an Eagle. It won't tell you if there's a SAM. So once you retake the surface air missiles, you can use that to shoot their Eagle down, and your Eagle will be unaffected. Until then, your Eagle won't be able to drop their ordnance. And I believe like for a good flying enemy would be like an attack helicopter or just enemy pelicans. Now these can be shot down. Pelican ones still can't be shot down. Same for Eagle One. She just won't go near the area until you take out the SAM site. And for their big, like, underground thing, it's either a fortress or an old prison they have taken. So you'll have to go in, clear rooms, take objectives, delete data caches, and when you get to like a clearing or a courtyard, you can call down supplies and stratagems. And this could be either way. You could land outside of it and go in, or just land right in the middle of it and just take it from the inside out. So that's all I really have. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna try to upload more. Now I haven't uploaded in like almost a month, but I'm gonna try to do like alternating weeks of streams and videos. Like when I'm off most of the week, I'll try to do videos, and when I'm off only a little bit of the week, I'll do streams. I'm planning on doing a dispatch stream soon, so thank you for watching.